Lakshman, this is Mitra. I enrolled very recently last week and I joined the class today.
Okay. Yeah, sure. If you have any questions, we'll talk on that maybe in the end of the session, or else we can have a.
Yeah, definitely, Lakshman. I need 5 minutes of your time today after you close this session, okay?
Sure. We'll give you a call. We'll have it.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Fine. So in the last session, we have seen the process of data conversion for suppliers' data. So this is what we discussed. This is a very traditional process which you follow in case of EBS. And when you talk about Fusion, the process is very much simplified. We don't require any technical support. So being a functional consultant will be able to perform this data conversions. So the process wise, we download a template and we just provided data that we converted to CSV. And next step would be you can upload the data into UCM, or by bypassing that task directly you can populate the data to interface by browsing the same file as a the job parameter. And finally we can import the data into respective application. So this is what we tested yesterday session. We just done with the suppliers conversion. Now we'll see how to load the open invoices into payables. The process remains same. Okay, the process remains same. When you talk about suppliers, we have a different templates, okay, based on the supplier data classification. But when you talk about payables open invoices, we have only one template. Within the template you can have a two different tabs. You can provide the data and you can load into the application. We'll see that. Fine. First we have to download the template, right? So from where we can download? From Oracle OER, Oracle Enterprise Repository. Go to Oracle OER, search with this keyword called as Oracle OER. You can find this link. Click on Oracle Enterprise Repository for Oracle Fusion applications. Now we are talking about payables invoices, open transactions, so that we can find as a part of financials. Go to financials, and which version of instance we are using? Latest version, that is release 13. Just click on that version. Okay. Now here you can go to use. Under that you can find here, you can find the section called as there we have that file based data import. You can see, 1 second. Yeah, so import file based data. See that they're just changing for procurement, they're given under use. Here just will verify. Fine. So here you can see all the templates, file based data import for Oracle Financials Cloud. Here we have a different templates related to financials. Now which template we need? Payables invoices template. Okay, just look for payables invoices template. Here we have a template called as payable standard invoice import. Just click on that. Now we can download the template. So from here, from this link we can download, and to load this file into application as well as to import the data from interface to base tables, this is a scheduled process we have to use. Import payables invoices. These are the interface tables where data will store once we populate the data from the template to interface. Okay, just notice these points. If you want to place this file in the UCM, this is the account you have to use. Fin payables import. We know, like, without placing the file in the UCM account also, we can just submit this process that already we tested in the yesterday session itself. Fine. So just we'll look at this navigation once again. The reason just for procurement we have seen in the different manner, and for this they are displaying differently. See what it is the last session. When you go to procurement, if you want to take that supply related templates, you have to click on that, and you have to go to use. Under use you can find templates here, manage integrations. By clicking on this you can navigate to the procurement related template. As a part of procurement templates only we can see the supplier templates also, right? Click on that, it will navigate us. Just it is taking time, that's what we have seen. That is a navigation which you have to remember. But when I talk about financials, so just go to version and select use. Okay, here they given as a part of do the basics. So here are the templates. You can click on import file based data. That's basically import file based data templates. Just click on import file based data. That will navigate us to here. It's open procurement, whatever we just hit it. Let system take us to this template page. Yes, here we have templates, so we can download it. Payable supplier invoice import template. How to download? Just on the link right click and click on save link as. Just click on save link as, so that we can download into the folder which we created the last session. That is, we have a folder called as Google Supplier FBDI. We'll just take the invoice template also into save folder. Just save it. So now we have to prepare the template with the data so that we can see the process how we can load into the application. So go to that folder. So here we have a template. The template name is Payables Standard Invoice Import Template. Just open this. Say yes. So this is a template which we can use to load the OpenInvoices data into payables. So we got two sheets. One is AP invoice interface, other one is AP invoice lines interface, which are these two are as a part of interface tables. So here you can find a lot of sample data. They given sample data. So how the template should fill, how the template we have to fill, or else how we can explain to the business users to fill this template. Some sample data they given. Except one invoice record, rest all you remove it. That one we can use for just reference. Just remove. Done. Okay. And when you talk about lines also, from here also you can remove this. So here. So one line would be enough. Rest of all lines you can remove. There are many lines, so just make sure that you are removing all the sample data, maybe excluding one line or all the lines. Fine, done. We removed almost total sample data except one record. This we can use just for reference, okay, to create the invoices in this template. So invoice ID, this any number you can provide since the ID is mandatory. They are showing with the star mark. So here with the one star mark, you can understand that is a mandatory. If you see any column or field with the two star marks, that you can understand any one of the field is mandatory. So here supplier name and supplier number. For this two, they given two stars, star marks. So that means any one of the field you can provide supplier name or supplier number. The other one system can derive automatically. So here you can provide the invoice ID, any ID you can provide. So this ID I'm just providing. Now we need business unit name. So to take this reference, we can go to the application. So when you create invoice in the application, what are the information we have to provide? All the details we have to provide in the spreadsheet now, the template. So to take that total information as a reference information, we can go to the invoice creation page. From there we can take the details. Okay, just go to invoice workbench. Just let me refresh this page. Okay, go to navigator. Under payables, we have a task called as invoices. It will take us to invoice workbench page and click on task list and click on create invoice. So from here we'll take the reference of, the business unit name, supplier name, those details we can take and we can keep ready. Say take BU name. We'll take supplier name and site name. Yeah, Google INC we have. Or else whatever we loaded that supplier also we can use it. Any supplier you can select. You can go with this supplier and site is INC site. Just you can take this all the reference information. And payment terms immediate. And when you enter the distribution, okay, you may enter distribution set or manual distribution. So that also you can take here, you can keep ready in the spreadsheet. So in the notepad that you can use in the spreadsheet template definition. So any one of the expense account you can take. Say software expense. Okay, this code combination you can keep here ready. Fine. So if any other information is required, we can take from here, no issues. So now we'll go to the template. Go to template. So business unit name. Just provide BU name. Here we have BU called as Google US Business Unit. And source from which third-party application you are loading this data. That name you can provide. Okay. Let system take as external. And invoice number. So invoice number is invoice 123. So invoice amount, say $50,000. Invoice date, okay. So invoice date is, you can take today's date. So 18th April 18. Okay, this is the date. Who is the supplier? We've taken everything into notepad that you can take here. So Google INC is our supplier. Sorry. And the supplier number is not mandatory. Automatically system will derive. We are giving the supplier name, so number it will derive automatically. And supplier site name. INC site. So invoice currency and payment currency, this system you can derive from the supplier also, but already we have columns, sample data also we have. Anyway, we are creating invoice with the USD, so you can accept the same or else you may remove. System will derive. Okay, description we don't require for the invoice. And import set is not mandatory to identify. Just one import set you can give for multiple invoices. That's how easily you will be able to import selected invoices in the import process into payables. It's not mandatory, it's a grouping purpose. Okay, loading time, specific invoices you can group with the specific import set. Okay, fine. So here we can see invoice type as standard. Okay, we are going to create invoice as a standard invoice. Legal entity, it's not mandatory to select. You can notice the field is optional. We know, like, based on the business unit, system will derive the legal entity which is mapped at BU level as a default legal entity by using business unit business functions, right? So from there it will derive, but anyway we take in the value. Nothing wrong if you provide. Okay, done. And other information. So payment terms, yes, even we have a same payment terms, right? So for our business unit also we associated immediate payment term that we can just accept in the template also. And term date. So term date is, here we can take today's date as a term date, 18th 4/18. So that's a term date from which date system has to calculate the payment terms. And same date you can take as a accounting date. Payment method check. Pay group standard you can keep or you can change to something else depending on how you are grouping the supplier. Pay alone is not required. And liability account code combination you can provide here. So anyway, system will derive from the, if it is available from supplier side, otherwise from common options. So that code combination you can take from here. The above one is expense code combination. This is a liability, right? So liability account code combination. So what are the columns information we don't require, that you can remove it. So this is the complete information which you are providing. This goes to invoice header, right? Just now we have seen liability account system will be defaulting to invoice header only. That is the reason this sheet itself we are entering. They are all just DFF and global attributes. If you want to capture additional information, you may create DFFs in the application. You can add the information here to populate the respective columns. Done. So AP invoice interface, the header information we provided. Now we have to provide the line information. Go to lines. So make sure that same invoice ID you are using. That's how system will understand the lines are belongs to which invoice. So here we given 111. So here also take 111. Fine. What is the invoice amount we enter? 50,000. 50,000. So final match and all these values not required. Here you can provide the distribution combination or you can provide the distribution set. If you have already distribution set which we defined in the application, that you can provide the value here, or else directly we can enter the manual distribution. So we can use this distribution account. Remove the distribution, this sample value, and provide accounting date. It's not mandatory based on header the system can derive, but if you want to provide, you can provide. 18th April 18th. So remove all the sample data which we don't require. If you think some other information you want to add as a part of invoice creation, you can add by following the respective columns. Since this is a sample records we are using for reference, just make sure that there is no additional details we have for specific column within this template. Let's go through all the columns. If you want to map project, if it is a project related invoice, we may provide all the details here. Fine, done. That's all. So this is how we have to prepare the template. Okay, just we are testing with a single invoice. In case of the real process, we know we'll have a bulk volume of the invoices. So see here, directly I taken that respective accounts. Okay, expense account and liability account. We know based on the data conversion logic, we'll use the different accounts, right? So instead of expense, we may go with a payables migration clearing account or a different account. Whatever the accounting logic we implement for conversion, accordingly you can take the actual accounts. Fine. So now you can convert this template into CSV file. Click on generate CSV file and save into same folder. So we have a folder called as Google. Save this zip file into that. So what I'll do is I'll keep the prefix as Google. Okay. Saved CSV file. So within this template we have it 2 sheets or say 2 tabs, right? For 2 tabs it will create 2 CSV files. Save. Again it will create one more CSV file. One for header section, other one for line. The same CSV files you can see within the template also. Here we enter the data and here system added those 2 templates related CSV formatted data, comma separated value, file data it added here. Now you can go to same template Google AP invoices import. Okay, and here you can open and see within that you can find 2 CSV files, AP invoice interface, AP invoice lines interface. For 2 tabs, 2 CSV files system added. Now this zip file we can load into the application. We know the process, whatever we followed for supplier, same process, but since data is invoice data, we have to select relevant jobs or programs. Fine, we'll go and see that. So you can cancel this. Just for reference, we open this invoice creation page. Now so we can first step is we can load into UCM. We have seen how to load into UCM in the last session, but it's not mandatory. Directly you can go and submit load interface file for import. From there also you can browse the file from your system. Okay, it's not mandatory how to place the file in UCM to browse the file as a parameter when you run the load interface file for import. Directly you can go with a process where you can pick that file as a parameter in the process. Okay, so directly you can go to schedule processes, click on schedule new process, and here you can just search for the job called as load interface file for import. Search, select, and say OK, and click on OK. So now import process, the data is invoices data, so we have to use the import process called as import payable invoices. So how you can say that process job we have to use our process we have to use. Here you can see in the template level, so they are clearly mentioned. This is a job we have to use. From the schedule process, this is what we have to submit. Import payables invoices. Okay, fine. So here select import payables invoices. So here is the job name, and we don't have file in the UCM. So if file is available in the UCM, if once you click on LOB, you can find the file here. Since we don't have in UCM, okay, just we can go with this option directly. Upload new file. So here we have a folder, and this is a file which we want to upload. AP invoice import zip file. Select it. Say OK and submit. Now what system will do? System will populate the data in payables open invoice interface. Okay, it will populate the data in these two interface tables. Fine, just monitor this job. Just make sure that it will complete normal. And the status called as succeeded. If you have any issues with the data which is available in the template, it will just end with a warning or error. Basically, it ends with an error if the data is something wrong, and it will generate the output file. By going through that output file, you can just get to know what is wrong with that. So you could see here the status is warning. So it ended with a error message. So we'll go and see the reason. So go to output file and go to log. Here we can see what is the issue with that. So process within this, you can try to find out the reason. Repeat of control file warning. Fine. So we'll go with this, the warning related file. So here we have a log file for specific set of data. What is there? There is something wrong with the date format. I think we given date format wrong. Okay, so here there is mention ORA date format, which runs before converting. Enter input string AP invoice 0. Row successfully loaded. 1 row not loaded due to data error. 0 rows not loaded because failed 0 loaded file just done. Seems to. So there is some issue with the date format which you entered. So here they give an invoice date column is invoice date. Okay, date format we entered I think wrong. Instead of date month, date we entered in the spreadsheet. That could be the issue. Fine, we'll go to that. Now we can remove that file. We cannot play with this file. We can remove whatever file we created. Now we can go to the template, in which template we prepared the data. I think we didn't save the template. If it is not saved, again we have to prepare.
Lakshman, that error message we saw, it is not very readable, or it is not in a report format where it is very
Yes, yes,
user friendly.
yes, yes. When you try to load the data from template to this interface, that is only the log file. You can get it. That's how they are giving. When you load the data, when you try to import the data from interface to base tables, they'll provide the very detailed file which you can read and understand. So that's how they are just generating the files. So in case of loading from the template to interface, just this log files only you can go through. In case of if you have a data in the interface when you're trying to load into base tables, if you have some issues, that you can capture through output file. System will generate the output file also with the detailed information. Fine. So now we don't have an option here. I'm sorry, I forgot to save that file. I think that is not saved here. We entered the data, based on that we generated GIF file. I forgot to save it. So anyway, quickly, just we know we gone through the process. Quickly we'll go on to prepare the data in template.
Lakshman, you can go to that folder and right click and say undo delete, and
Okay.
it will bring back the zip file and we can unzip that.
No. That you could see within that you will be having in the format only. Formatted data you will be finding. Okay. So within that you don't find this template based data. Okay. Fine. Just we'll go and prepare it. It won't take more than 5 minutes. Anyway, we can see once again the same process which we gone through. Just 5 minutes we'll finish it. So we have data ready in the notepad also. We can prepare it. So except one record, remove all the records. Fine. So invoice ID, any ID you can provide, and BU name. This is our BU name. Source selection invoice number is invoice 234. Invoice amount is $25,000, and invoice date. So here this is month. Okay, month is 4th, date is earlier we entered. I just entered as this as a date and this as a month. Okay, now month, date, and year. Once you place the cursor here, whatever it displays, it's a month. Date is 18. Year is 2018. Okay, here display it is showing as a year, month, and date. But once you place the cursor here, month, date, and year. So our supplier name, supplier is Google Inc. And supplier number you can remove. Supplier site, so Inc site. So invoice currency, payment currency, we can accept the same. The set is not required, type is standard. So optionally you may provide legal entity name. Payment terms, yes, we are going to use immediate. Anyway, system will default automatically. Here date, so date should be, so month April, date is 18, year is 2018. The same term date you can use as a accounting date. Payment method, okay, check. And pay group you can keep same or you can change to something else. It's all about grouping the suppliers. And liability account, you can provide the liability account. No issues, I'm just giving this account. So just verify all the columns. Find data which you think that is not required for this invoice creation, you may remove it. Just verify all the columns. Done. So no additional sample data we have in this. Fine. Now go to lines interface. Here invoice ID we given 123. So take here also same 123. So what is invoice amount we given? $25,000. Here also enter same. If you are going to create only one line, here you can provide the distribution account, or else you can provide distribution set. The accounting, so the first one is month, it represents month. Date is 18, year is 2018. The ship to location, we are not setting anything. Fine, done. Now just go to this template. So here we don't have, right? Yeah, just save this file. Just save this file. Save this file by selecting the same template. Save it. So if any issue with this, we can come back to this and we can correct the data, and we can again convert into CSV file. We can submit the same. Okay, now we have a template with the data which we prepared. Fine. Now we can convert this file into CSV. Go to instructions under CSV generation, click on generate CSV file. So AP invoice import, that we can save into the same folder. Say save one more CSV file. Done. Now we can go with the same process. Refresh this navigation. If you run any job here, if you want to submit one more job, just refresh, so that when you click on schedule new process, it won't default previous job. Done with that, just go to schedule new process task. The job name is load interface file for import. Okay, load interface file for import. For any data conversions, it could be any application data, this is a common job. So through this job you can give the data specific process related to some OpenInvoices. Here we can go with the import payable invoices process name. So import payables invoices. So data file, you can pick the data file from the folder. The name is AP invoice import the file. Say OK. Submit. Say OK. Now just click on refresh. Okay, now this import process should end without any issues.
I have a question.
Please.
So when we were entering the data for the invoice, we selected we have to select external, or we can select any other.
I didn't get your question. I think its voice was breaking when you speak. What is your question? When you yes, I got the point. When you are entering invoice, what element what point you are specifying?
The invoice source we entered as external
Yes,
in the
external,
file.
correct.
Yeah. Do we have to keep it external? We can enter something else, like, or
Yeah, you can enter anything over there. See, it's all about from which system you are bringing the data. Third party system, maybe ABC system, XYZ system. You'll be having different products, right? That application name you can enter here. Normally in this process, we always enter client legacy system. Say client is using QuickBooks. From QuickBooks, we are getting this invoice information into this application that you can enter, or else some tally. Okay, there are many accounting systems where clients use before they move to these applications. So from which system we are collecting the data, that system name you can provide, or else if you want to give very generic naming, if that is not mandatory, okay, they are looking for to understand from which system they are bringing. Since they are not bringing from multiple applications, they may not specify which system. Simply we can give the value as a external. That's it.
okay. And if they're bringing from like third-party system, then we have to do a setup for the new source.
Yeah, source name you have to create in our application. That is common in EBS or any application. If you're bringing the from the other application, the source name we have to define. Then you can select that value so that it won't fail. Okay, fine. So here we can see the files are loaded. The status you can see as a succeeded. Now we can just import the data from the interface tables to base tables. So now we have to submit one more job called as import payables invoices. Import payables invoices. Just say okay. So now data we have in the interface. Which BU data and which source related data we want to import into payables, that you have to specify. Yes, this BU related data only, the same ledger, but source, the data which we loaded, populated interface, within that the source we have as a external. Whatever you specified over there, that you can select here. External, right? Spreadsheet we have external only, which we accepted, which is available. So make sure that you are selecting same. Now you can say submit. Okay, the data which is there, once you bring into that base tables interface level, the records, if you want to purge, you can set purge as yes, so that the data will get purged. Submit. You may specify other parameters also, but all are optional. Now if anything wrong with this record while we import from interface to base table, then system will generate the output file. It will create the file, not only just log file, the detail output file it will create automatically. So there it will be addressing the detailed reason why that import got failed. And other point is, anyway, we can access to the interface, and interface level also we can see the issues with the records. That I'll take you through, from where you can, if something wrong when we are importing, now we are trying to import from interface to base tables, any records fails from interface to base tables import process, we can go and find from the interface tables. For that we have a spreadsheet process. I'll take you through that. Now we can look at this. So import payables invoice process, so completed with the status has succeeded. Done. It generated report also. So you may just go to the report, or else directly you can go and find the information. So report is generated, how many invoices are imported. So number of processes run with this source. If you scroll down, you could see that information. Oh, invalid legal entry, invalid liability account. Line got rejected. Okay, good. Anyway, this we can use for our better understanding how to go and correct and all. We can see that. Invalid legal entity. How come? Like we given valid legal entity only. Maybe like when I copied and pasted, there could be some space, etc. Okay, no issues. The open interface import report it is showing us. So the invoices rejected one. Whatever the invoice we entered with is 25,000 that got rejected. Invoice number 234. Yes. So reasons are invalid legal entity and invalid liability account. Yes, I didn't provide liability account. I just copied and pasted same expense account. So that is the one reason. We'll go and correct it. Fine. So before that, let me take that liability account ready into sheet. So let me navigate to invoice workbench. Or else we can. Fine. So I just copied and pasted. How come like there could be some space in the process of copy paste? We'll see that. Go to show more. This is the actual liability account code combination. I used expense account only. Okay, so that's the reason it's validated. Fine. What's wrong with the legal entity? Google USA legal entity. Right, it's correct. We'll see. So we'll correct this liability account. That should work. So now we have issue. Data is in the interface, but we are not able to import. The error message is so legal entity and liability accounts are invalid. Now, how to access? How to go to interface? How to access the data which is there in the interface tables. So in this process, if any record fails, you can go to the task called as correct import errors. Click on correct import errors. Just say okay. Yes, you want to connect, yes. Fine. Provide login credentials. Say skip. One second, it will fetch the format first and data. Now you can see the records which are errored out and which are available in the interface level. The reason and everything you can find in this spreadsheet itself.
Hi, Lakshman, this is Prakash.
Yeah, Prakash, please.
The process, is this different than from yesterday when you tried to import supplier and there was an error message?
Yeah.
And you had to fix from the spreadsheet.
I got your question. See, the point is when you're loading the supplier's information, you don't have any provision where you can go and see the data. Okay, you know which interface that is there and what data got stuck. That means we don't have any interface tables access through spreadsheet in case of supplier loading. That is available for invoices data. That's it. But if you want to access the supplier's data, only the option is you have to go and to write the query and you have to define the report saying that select start from supplier tables. And that's how you can just define the reports and you can run it and you can get to know. But here we no need to go with writing some query to fetch the data. We can just define the reports and directly by navigating to this spreadsheet, we'll be able to access the data which is available in the interface. That is the difference. Process remains same, only this is additional function which is available to access the data which is there in the interface, which is not available for supplier. That's it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So just to complete the discussion, system was automatically deleting from the interface table for us in case of supplier.
No, sorry, I didn't get. In which scenario we are talking about?
In the supplier scenario,
okay,
the system was doing an automatic delete from the interface table because we went back to spreadsheet. Is that correct?
Yes, it will do that. Once again, if you go and submit it, it will do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So here you could see, okay, so there are many issues. Okay, many lines are available in the interface, but all related to France business unit. Our business unit also we have here. The first one, import error message is invalid legal entity and invalid liability account. We can go and correct it. So supplier description, we didn't provide anything.
So Lakshman, in this case, all the records got rejected, right? Nothing got uploaded in interface, or
yeah,
these all the records.
These all are available within the interface, which are not imported into payables. These are belongs to different BUs. We got access to multiple BUs, right, from our user. That is the reason we are able to see this.
Okay, so the record that failed is showing here, and
yes,
everything other, if the remaining records get processed,
only error,
then it would.
Those you cannot see. Those you cannot see from here. See the function name itself, correct import errors, right? Only added out records only you can see from here. Not all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest will actually go in the payable. If we have more than one record in our file, then the records that are correct will directly go in.
Yes. If you submit that process.
And the invoice will get created without the one that failed, right? That's
yes. Once you run that import payables invoice, if the data is valid, it will through.
So what if a user has a requirement that they don't want to load the data unless everything is correct? So let's say we are importing 5 invoices and 10 line for each invoice, and they are saying if anything fails, they don't want to import any. They want the whole file to fail, and they want to do the re-import. Is that possible here?
See, so when we are loading the data from the file to interface, when you are trying to populate, that is fine, that is possible. The entire file will be done. But here when we are importing, no. So valid records, see what is the use if you are holding in the interface without importing into base tables for specific reports which are valid.
So let's say for one invoice, there are one line that's not correct, but others are correct. So it'll create an invoice with the remaining line.
One line it's not correct means it will hold it. Which records are very much validated and fine, those only will be processed. The rest of record system will hold.
Okay, so the hold is at the invoice level, right?
Yeah,
one invoice, everything is correct.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Here we can provide our liability distribution. Okay, this is our liability account code combination. So in the sheet I given just expense account only, expense code combination, that is in system ignored. I'm just providing now. Okay, we just corrected. Now what we can do is, so this is the first line, right? You can go to correct import errors. Here, this is a line, right? Now you can say save, undo, submit, invoice, import. If you click on save, what are the updates we did? With that updates, the record will be saved in the interface only. If you click on save and import, submit, invoice, import, means it will save the record and it will submit the invoice, import payable invoices process. Well, click on that. It will save the record as well as it will fail. See here we have many records. On failure, continue to upload subsequent rows. Only this is applicable for the error related information. If you say okay, say you corrected 4 lines, out of that again 2 lines has some issue, it will hold those 2 lines, remaining 2 lines only it will be imported. If you say uncheck, it will stop all the lines which you corrected. But this is applicable for only error records only. Here we can see only error records only, for that this is applicable. Fine. See, row updated successfully, that means it's imported also. So number of records update is 1. Now say okay. The same record will be imported into payables. So for the import process, provide the parameters, provide your BU name, Google US Business Unit, source is external, right? Submit. Okay, done. See, if you want to remove any records from here we have option. So delete column. If you double click, system will enable the dot icon, and if you have to double click, it will select. Then if you click on save, the record will be deleted. That's how you can delete it. Okay, you can click on save, it will be deleted, or else you have a mark all for deletion. You can just mark all for deletion. Specific record if you want to delete, see here record number 6. Okay, here record number 6 we have this, you want to delete it. Here just double click and click on save, the record will be deleted. That's how you can delete. So this is the point we have to understand. The number of invoice deleted is 1. So that's the logic. Just that is a point you have to understand how to delete. Here you don't have direct option selecting and deleting. The how to delete, double click, that would get selected. The delete column, double click, it will get selected. If you click on save, that means the deletion we selected, save means that will happen. Okay, this is how you can delete the records from interface if you have any errors and all. If that is the case, we'll be resubmitting, we'll be loading again the data into interface once again. Now we can go and find the invoice in payables. So invoice number is invoice INV 234, right? Go to application, just refresh this invoice workbench home page. INV 234 with the 25,000 we created. So go to manage invoices. Invoice number is INV 234. Yes. What's wrong with that? That is loaded, right? We'll go to the schedule process, what system triggered, and we'll verify. We didn't provide legal entity. I just removed legal entity by expecting system will default. Go to the report. Verify still anything is wrong. Why it is wrong liability account? Do not match and already showing something wrong with the liability account which you provided. Go to that interface. We closed.
Lakshman, one question.
Yeah, please.
So the load is basically a two-step process where we
Sorry?
run. The load is a two-step process where we first move the data to interface and then from interface to base table.
Yes.
And in the first step, we had a date error. I think it is format related, but why in the first step itself it did not throw this legal entity or liability account error? Because
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. We know that very well, right? Yeah. Where we have legal entity, real legal entity. The real legal entity,
sorry, what is it?
Accounts payables, right? Do you think accounts payables legal entity information will be available in the interface table level?
So basically, there is no validation. It is only validating for format.
Yeah, format only, because whenever the record will go and hit relevant tables, so the required information system will validate that is available or not. Say I am entering one legal entity called as XYZ. System won't verify the XYZ is available as a part of application definition. System will look at interface level. The legal entity field should become mandatory. That's it. When you are importing, then it will validate it is defined in the system or not. That is associated with the same BU or not, it will verify. Right?
Okay. Okay.
That's all. So 1 second, just will fix it.
Lakshman, is it okay to use to upload the OpenInvoices using the spreadsheet, or is it mandatory to do it this way?
So I mean, you are referring which function? ADFDI?
So in we can upload invoices using spreadsheet, right?
That's what ADFDI.
Correct.
Yeah,
ADFDI. Can we use that to load the open invoices for data conversion? Or
no. There you cannot go with this kind of validation if data gets stuck and all. Again, see here, that is again simple. That is like ADF function is quick invoice, where you can enter invoice with very basic information. But here you can go with the detail. You could see two tabs we have. The detail information you can enter here. That's how it's different. So very basic information, few invoices we have, you may use it, but so as a part of conversions for detailed process, so we use this FBDI templates only. That is for regular day-to-day invoice entry process. You can use it where you can give it to the user access, they can enter. But this is to load the bulk volume of invoices. Even from that ADFDI spreadsheet function also you can create multiple invoices. But so you can provide very limited fields information. Okay, you can add few complete information which you want to bring. Please wait for some time since we have a lot of data within this interface. As errors, it is taking more time. Still, we have the same issue with our record. So now inconsistent liability account. We'll go and correct it. We'll enter through manual process. Thousand 12210, right? We'll just take an existing, or else any issue with this and the application will verify. look at previous invoices. From last 3 days, we don't have invoices. How come we created invoices, right? Just 1 second, we'll verify the liability account. Double 2100. So this is a liability account. Save it anyway. No issues. So for all these lines, there is no supplier information also they entered. Supplier site information. Fine, now just we corrected. Go to correct and do import errors and say save and do submit. So just submit. Okay, done. So we'll go and look at the process. Okay, verify the report output. The liability account combination ID and the liability account do not match. So it is not taking that update, whatever we updated. So no issues. What we'll do is we'll delete that record. Save it. Basically, once you correct it, has to should understand and should take it. Okay, it's not happening. Now what we have this template ready, right? So just whatever the system added these 2 additional tabs, you can delete it. So This is the template where we prepare the data. You can go to the template. Here you can provide the right liability account. So legal entity, there is no issue. It is not showing any error here. Make sure that there is no space and all, etc. It's fine. So here you can provide the right liability account. Okay. 22100, right? It's liability account. Fine, done. Now convert this file again as a CSV file, and this will load it. It should resolve that issue. Basically, if you correct in the interface, it should work. Somehow it is still taking the point as it's not correct. So generate file. So here name Google INC. Just these files maybe already exist. That is the reason I'm giving name as different. Okay, done. Now just we'll go ahead with the process. So first we have to populate the file in the interface tables. Load interface file for import. Import process name is import payables invoices. The file you can browse from here. Now we given as a Google INC. Select. Okay. Submit. Okay, it's done. Now you can refresh the same navigation and submit import process. Schedule processes. The job name is import payables invoices. Yes, there's a BU and a ledger, and the source is as per our spreadsheet we given as external. Say submit. So done. We'll go on to verify the report output. Now it should process, and we should be able to see the invoice in the payables. So number of processes are done 1, and what is the result? Invalid legal entity. How come it's invalid legal entity? Same legal entity, right? We have.
No, Lakshman, can you check where the legal entity name is given in the source file? I doubt you have given the legal entity name under the customer client registration number or something like that.
Sorry, customer?
Client registration number or something like that. There you gave the legal entity name.
No. We given exactly in the legal entity field only. The spreadsheet. See here if you notice. So this is the record, right? This is the one. Here you can see. Oh. Yes. I entered in the different column.
Right. I was about to tell you, but
Okay. By mistake, I entered.
sorry.
It should be in this.
No, that's
right.
I know.
Yeah, that's true. We'll correct it. No issues. Now interface level, you can correct it. That could be the reason it is going in the different way. Earlier, it was showing. Keep telling. System was telling that issue with invalid liability account, but reality, this is the point it is addressing, but it is not expressing the same. Fine. Now we'll fix it. Please, you can correct me if I'm wrong somewhere by mistake. Yep.
That's why it's not right or wrong, just overlooking. That's it.
Yeah. That's what. See, that's wrong, right? Finally, it went wrong.
Yeah.
Just I looked at that field and but I placed the test in the different field. That's what happened. Now we can fix it.
And Lakshman, another thing, even though it failed, why the process it is showing as successfully completed?
Process successfully completed. Yes, as you mentioned, really it has to give some warning message or some error message.
Correct.
But they made it as the process is just executed and in the report only they are displaying.
Yeah. So in that case, every time.
No. To sync with the result and the status, they should give some error message or warning message.
At least warning, correct.
Yeah, that's true. But they are showing as a succeeded. They should, consider that point how it is succeeded.
Correct. Yeah.
That's true. Fine. Okay, now we can go and correct it. We just misplaced that legal entity in the wrong field. Just move it to right field. So here you can see tax registration number field we given legal entity name. Here it should be in this field. So remove from this field. Now it should work. This record. Okay, just go to correct and import errors. Save and do submit invoice import process. Source is external. Okay, it's a very simple task, but because of those issues, time and we are just working on this. Anyways, it's all about just you can take it as exploring on this process or where you can find that information. It's done. Invoice is created. So this is all about the invoice information. You can go and find the invoice. What is invoice number? INV 2.
INV
Yep.
1234.
We'll go to the invoice workbench. Here is the invoice. Here you can filter. Last 24 hours, one invoice is created. That is the one this which we imported through spreadsheet. You can click on invoice number. Then you can proceed with the rest of process. You can validate this. You can account based on due date. You can process for payment. Anyway, this is normally it's like just which will load under the rest is a standard process whatever you do. So this is how we can load the invoice information to payables by using the FBDI template. Find any questions from anyone, please. So done. That's all.
In the template, if we move around the fields, it is telling whether number or character on the top.
Sorry.
But in the template, if we move around the fields,
Okay.
it is not necessarily here. Even in the original
No,
template
I'm going
before
to template opening. Yeah.
yeah. So here, if we move across the fields on the top, it is telling whether it is text or number, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you click down arrow on the actual field value, yeah, it is telling number or
Yeah.
yeah.
So basically,
Not there.
if you use the cursor,
Yeah.
it should display immediately.
But is there a way for it for us to find the number of character limit or number of number limit?
The number of here it will
Character
be
limit.
displaying. Basically, in this template pop-up itself, it has to show. Basically, it should come pop-up. It has to come. You just are you trying from your system?
No, sometimes even in the system, invoice number is only it will allow only
No,
256
basically,
characters.
once you place the cursor, the pop-up should come here. It will display basically. It will display here. In case of data, also it shows that what is the format and all. Okay, those details you can see. Otherwise, to understand about this template from this path, you can just go through and you can get more information on that. So this open invoice import, how the invoices are imported. Here they'll be writing detailed information to relate to that process. If you go with this, so invoice header import control files. If you go through these files and all, there also you can find some relevant information. But basically in the template itself, if you place a cursor, it normally it shows the pop-up message. Okay, but I don't see here now. This is the process and all they're explaining. Scroll a little down. And a invoice open interface table. You can click on this table, say AP invoice interface table. Here you can find the columns related information. Those you can map with the respective field, whether that is just any validation it has. It's invoice number means it's a invoice number, any condition, limitations and all you can go through from here. For each column, each column what we have in the interface, they're explaining the same column they mapped with the template fields, right? By looking at this column name, just whatever the column we have in the template, you can understand. But basically, it has to generally just gives a pop-up if you place the cursor. I'm not sure whether it's happening in my system or by default they removed that option.
Okay,
The cursor,
thank you.
the pop-up will come. Pop-up it will come and it says how the date format should be, month first, next date, then
Lakshman?
how many characters and all it has to display. Yeah.
Yeah, I get this pop-up. I have in from they have the pop-up in R30.
You are getting pop-up?
Yeah, we are getting a pop-up.
Okay, great, fine. I think in my system it is not happening. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, basically yes, that's how it generally it gives pop-up. Right? Once you place the cursor here, the pop-up will come. It will talk about this, how many characters you can enter, the format, etc., etc. Done. So, any other questions from anyone, please? Any questions? Fine. If no questions, we can wind up for today. We'll connect tomorrow and we'll continue from here.
Lakshman, I need to talk to you 5 minutes. It's really
We'll give you a
important.
call. Mitra, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll give a call. You can expect call within 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. Thank you.
I wanted to talk to you only.
Yeah. Sure. That's what I'll just ask team to give a call. I'll be available.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Fine. Any questions from others, please?
Can you upload the sessions?
I'll
I was
do maybe within 1 hour for sure. I forgot the previous 2 sessions also to upload. I'm really sorry for that. You can expect all the videos, including today's session, within 1 hour.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Fine. Seems to no questions. So we can wind up for today. We'll connect tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a good day and good night.